Hey, first grade, we are back for part 2 of our place value video. A few days ago, you watched a video about just intro to place value. It was just a refresher. We talked about that there are two characteristics. Excuse me, I can't talk today. Two characteristics that you should be looking at when you're doing place value. Not only what place value is that number in, but what is the value of that number, okay? And it was kind of a long video because we went into it really, really deep. I just wanted to make sure that you had that knowledge and that refresher so that way you were successful in your activities. Well, today it's going to be short and sweet. We are just going to talk about the different forms of place value and how to write numbers in different ways. And again, this is something that you have learned before in the classroom. So this should not be difficult for you. You already have that knowledge in your brain. We're just going to do a refresher, okay? So again, this is part 2 of our place value video. Okay, what's going on? There we go. So the target for today is I can use place value to create different ways of showing a number, okay? And we talked about in class when we learned this before that there are 4 ways to show a number. And so you have standard form, expanded form, base 10 form, and word form. And today we are going to just practice creating numbers in different ways so that when you get to your seesaw activities, you can be successful. Now, let's go ahead and look at this first number. The first number that I have is 78, okay? Now, I know that's when I am doing a number, when I'm just writing a number in its digits, that is standard form, my friends. Standard form, and I always tell my class, what is standard form? You just write the number. That's it. What is standard form? You just write the number. That's it. Nothing fancy. You don't have to spell it out. You don't have to do expanded. You don't have to draw it. It's just writing the number. So in order to write this number in standard form, we have a 7 in our tens place, an 8 in our ones place, and that creates 78. So standard form again is just write the number. That's it. Let's take a look at a second way that you can create a number. And we talked about this in depth in our last video, and that is base 10 form. So using base 10 blocks. And so I created the number 78 using base 10 blocks. So in my tens place, I have a 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 base 10 rods. And in my ones place, I have 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. And that's all it is, just drawing out your base 10 blocks. Now, if you do not have the little blocks in your seesaw activity, or you don't have base 10 blocks at home, we know how to draw them, right? So let's review how to draw a base 10 block. So if I wanted to draw a rod, well, let's start with unit. If I wanted to draw a unit, all I have to do is draw a square. That's a unit. If I wanted to draw a rod, I would just draw a long rectangle. That's a rod. It doesn't have to have the individual lines, just a rod. If I wanted to draw a flat, it's going to be a large square, okay? So when you're doing your activities, remember, some of them are gonna have you drawing. And so remember how to draw your base 10 blocks so that way you can complete your seesaw activity successfully, okay? So standard form, just write the number. Base 10 form, you're using blocks, manipulatives, or you're drawing your picture. Base 10 form, you're drawing your picture. Okay, let's look at the third way that you can show a number, and that's expanded form. And we talked about this in our last video. That is writing your number sentence without the equal sign, without the answer, okay? So I have 7 in my tens place, so that tells me I have 7 rods. Well, if I wanted to count by 7 10 times, or count by tens 7 times, then I could do this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So that tells me I have 70. My 7 rods equals 70. My 8 units equal 8. So 78 is 70 plus 8. Okay? So expanded form. Remember, you're writing that number sentence. Writing that number sentence. And then the last form that we're going to talk about is word form. and that's here. And that means you're just writing the word with letters. That's it. And if you don't know how to spell a word, what should you do? Sound it out. Very good. Sound out that word. Word form. You're just writing it with letters. Okay? So we have 4 ways to show a number. Standard form, just write the number. Base 10 form, you're drawing the blocks. Expanded form, you're writing a number sentence. Word form, you're just writing it out with letters. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clear this so we can move to our next slide. Now I have the number 120, okay? And so what we went ahead and did is standard form means what? Just write the number. That's all I did, was just write the number. 120, 120. Base 10 form, okay? Well, starting with my left side, I have 100, that means I have 1 flat. I have 2 tens, so I have 2 rods. And I have 0 units, 0 in my ones place, so I have 0 units, okay? And so 120 in my base 10 blocks. Well, now let's look at the other one. For my expanded form, I have 100 plus 20. No 1, so I have nothing there. So 100 plus 20, 120. That's my number sentence, expanded form. And then my word form. I spelled it out, 120. Remember when you're spelling 100, we don't say 120. We just say 120. It is not and, 100 and whatever it is. Don't ever put and. We are not at that stage where we are putting and, okay? Now, we are going to practice together and we are going to create some numbers, okay? So let's say I wanted to make the number 63, okay? So I have the number 63. I know that standard form means just write that number. So all I'm gonna do is write 63, okay? Now let's move down here to base 10. I got to create that with base 10 blocks, okay? So I have 1. Oh, well, let's back up a little bit. Let's undo that. Uh-oh, redo it. Let's take that back. Let's talk about it. So I have a 3 in my ones place. A 3 in my ones place. That tells me that I have 3 units. So I'm going to drag 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have 3 ones, 3 units. Excellent. Okay. So then I have a 6 in my tens place. I have a 6 in my tens place. And so that tells me that I need 6 rods. So let's go ahead and count that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have just now created 63 with my base 10 blocks. 6 rods, 3 units, that makes 63. Now, if you don't believe me, we can go ahead and count it together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63. Now let's look at our third way to write or to create a number, and that is expanded form. And remember, when you're doing expanded form, you're writing that number sentence. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our tens place. I have a 6 there. 6 in my tens makes what? If you said 60, you were absolutely correct. I have 6 in my tens place, so I'm going to count my 10 6 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, now I need to put a plus sign. And then I have 3 in my ones. What does that make? That makes 3. So I have done 63. Okay, now I have to do my word form. Okay, so I'm going to spell it out. I, X, T, E, and I know three has that sound, and I know TH says then and then E, 63. I have just spelled 63 in word form. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear this out, and we're going to do another one. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. So this time I want to do a bigger number. Okay, and so I am going to do 109. Okay, 109. So let's look at our first way to create a number, and that's standard form. I know standard form means just write that number. So all I'm going to do is do 100. I have no tens, and I have 9 ones. 109. Okay. Now I'm going to create this in base 10 blocks. But this time, I'm going to do the drawing. Okay. So that way you can see how I am doing that drawing. So when you're doing your seesaw activities, you can be successful. So drawing. Okay. I have 100. I have 100. So that means I have one flat. So I'm going to draw my square. Okay. I have no tens. So that means I need no rods. But I do have 9 ones. So that means I need 9 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, you see how I did that? Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Now let's look at our expanded form. That means you're going to write that number sentence. Okay, so we're going to start left to right. So left, I have a 1 in my hundreds place. So 1 in my hundreds place equals what? 100. Okay, plus, do I have anything in my tens? No, so I'm not going to put anything there. But do I have something in my ones? I do. I have 9. So I'm going to do 9. So my expanded form is 100 plus 9. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and spell it out. Ooh, what did I just do? I'm going to go ahead and spell out that word. Okay. 100. And remember, we don't say and because I have no tens. There's no tens in there, but I don't say and, so I'm going to do 109. I'm going to scoot that over a little bit. 100. Ooh, did you hear me? I made a mistake. 109. No and. 109. Okay. So you have just learned a refresher about how to show numbers in 4 ways. Standard form, just write that number. Base 10 form, draw your blocks. Expanded form, write your number sentence. Word form, write out your number using letters, or write out your number using letters, okay? And so on your seesaw activities, you're going to be required to create numbers in 4 ways. So please make sure you are paying attention or rewatch this video so that way you can be successful. This concludes the video for part 2. This is the end of the videos for this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. We miss you very, very much. We love you so much. Work hard and complete those seesaw activities. Bye.